How to fix Crimson Desert GPU usage drop and low FPS in city centers when launching with Wand. Welcome back to TechnoBalta. Today, we're diving deep into a perplexing performance issue plaguing Crimson Desert players, specifically the GPU usage drop and subsequent low FPS experienced in bustling city centers when the game is launched through a third-party utility, colloquially referred to as Wand. This intricate problem, often characterized by CPU bottlenecking and GPU underutilization on powerful systems like the AMD RX 9070 XT and 7500F, arises from complex interactions between game updates, system drivers, and the overhead introduced by external software. Our comprehensive guide will meticulously explore both immediate fixes targeting the Wand integration and broader system optimizations to ensure a smooth, high-fidelity gaming experience in 4K. Understanding the root cause involves identifying how Wand interfaces with Crimson Desert and your system's resources, particularly in demanding scenarios like dense urban environments where CPU draw calls and object rendering become paramount. When an external launcher or overlay injects itself into the game process, it can introduce latency, consume CPU cycles, or conflict with anti-cheat measures or graphics APIs, leading to the observed performance degradation. We'll methodically troubleshoot these potential bottlenecks to restore optimal GPU utilization and frame rates. Identify and verify Wand functionality. First, ascertain the precise nature and purpose of the Wand utility. Determine if it's a mod loader, an overlay, a performance monitoring tool, or a custom game launcher, as understanding its function is critical to diagnosing its impact on game performance. Document any specific settings or modifications Wand applies upon game launch. Launch Crimson Desert directly. As identified in the forum thread, the core issue often stems from Wand itself. Attempt launching Crimson Desert directly from its executable file or through its official platform launcher, e.g., Steam, Epic Games, or the game's proprietary launcher, without involving Wand. This direct launch serves as a crucial diagnostic step to confirm if Wand is indeed the sole instigator of the performance drop. Temporarily disable or uninstall Wand. This eliminates the external variable and isolates the problem, allowing you to gradually reintroduce Wand or seek alternatives if its functionality is essential. Ensure no background processes related to Wand are still active. Update AMD graphics drivers. Ensure your AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT graphics card drivers are updated to the latest stable version via the AMD Adrenalin software. Outdated or corrupted drivers can cause suboptimal GPU scheduling and resource allocation, especially after game updates that might introduce new rendering techniques or optimizations. Perform a clean installation by using the factory reset option in the Adrenalin installer. Update Windows operating system. Keep your Windows OS fully updated to ensure compatibility with modern games and drivers, as critical performance and security patches often address system-level bottlenecks. Navigate to Windows Settings, Update and Security, Windows Update and install all available updates. Restart your system thoroughly after the updates are applied. Verify game file integrity. Corrupted or missing game files can lead to unpredictable performance issues, including resource mismanagement. Utilize the game launcher's built-in function, e.g., verify integrity of game files on Steam or equivalent on other platforms to scan and repair any discrepancies within the Crimson Desert installation. This ensures all game assets are intact and correctly installed. Adjust in-game graphics settings. Despite running a powerful GPU, certain graphics settings, particularly those heavily reliant on CPU processing like high population density, complex physics, or shadow quality, can exacerbate CPU bottlenecks at 4K resolution. Experiment by slightly reducing these specific settings from cinematic or ultra to high to alleviate the strain on your Ryzen 7500F. Observe if the GPU usage stabilizes and FPS improves in city centers. Disable overlays and background applications. Third-party overlays from applications like Discord, Steam, Xbox Game Bar, or even AMD Adrenalin itself can consume valuable CPU and GPU resources, potentially conflicting with game processes. Temporarily disable all non-essential overlays and background applications to free up system resources and eliminate potential software conflicts. Use Task Manager to identify and close resource-intensive processes. Configure Windows Power Plan. Ensure your Windows Power Plan is set to High Performance or Ultimate Performance to prevent your CPU and GPU from downclocking under load. Access power options via the control panel, select your active plan, and adjust advanced power settings to ensure maximum performance for your processor and PCIe link state. This guarantees consistent power delivery for demanding gaming sessions. Monitors CPU thermals and usage. Given the reported 100% CPU usage and temperatures reaching 70°C, monitor your CPU's thermal performance using tools like HW Monitor or MSI Afterburner. While 70°C is generally safe, sustained high temperatures can lead to thermal throttling, where the CPU reduces its clock speed to prevent overheating, directly impacting game performance and contributing to GPU underutilization. Ensure adequate cooling. Clear shader cache. Corrupted or outdated shader caches can lead to performance hitches and loading issues. For AMD users, clearing the shader cache can be done through the AMD Adrenalin software or by deleting the shader cache folder located within the game's directory or your Windows user profile. This forces the game to rebuild optimal shaders for your current driver and settings. Adjust AMD FSR settings. While FSR quality mode helps maintain performance at 4K, ensure it's not introducing unforeseen artifacts or processing overhead in specific scenarios like dense cityscapes. Experiment with disabling FSR entirely or trying a slightly less aggressive setting like balanced to see if it impacts GPU utilization and alleviates CPU strain. Some games benefit differently from FSR implementations. Disable full-screen optimizations. Windows full-screen optimizations can sometimes interfere with exclusive full-screen modes, leading to performance issues or input lag. Check for game-specific hotfixes or patches. Game developers often release hotfixes or small patches to address performance regressions or compatibility issues introduced by larger updates. Monitor official Crimson Desert news channels, forums, or your game launcher for any recent updates specifically targeting performance or CPU utilization problems. Applying these patches can be a straightforward solution. Reconfigure wand settings if re-enabled. If you must use wand and have re-enabled it after testing, meticulously examine its settings for any options that could impact game performance. Look for features like frame rate caps, injection methods, or overlay elements that might be overly aggressive or resource-intensive. Try adjusting these settings one by one to identify the culprit. Consider a game reinstallation. As a last resort, if all other troubleshooting steps fail, a clean reinstallation of Crimson Desert might resolve underlying file corruption or configuration issues that persist despite verification. Ensure you back up any critical save files or user settings before proceeding with a full uninstall and reinstall. Don't forget to follow Technobalta for more in-depth technical guides and performance optimization tips.